Hey guys, welcome to a new video. I wanted to make a quick video explaining why SaaS developers, or at least most SaaS developers, are broke. Guys, we have competition all over the world, right? When you're creating a software, there's a plethora of competition. What we're really doing is you have to understand two main things, and I'm going to give you a real life example of this. And I don't recommend that you skip any part of this video. All right. Most SaaS developers are broke because number one, they have no internal marketing system. And number two, they're begging without giving. And let me give you a real life example. So you might not know my story. I probably never talked about it before, but here it is. This is my second YouTube video. And really how I developed over time is I had my very first SaaS about 8 years ago. And this was after I had sold a clothing business. When I created the clothing business, I actually made it successful through SEO. SEO was my main marketing system. While the SEO was kicking in, I was doing social media, which was the first thing that brought me income. So I started with social media. That brought me income for the clothing business. And then with time, the SEO kicked in because SEO does take time. And then I was generating more income from the SEO than I was on social media. Over time, I sold the business of clothing, and then I started running SaaS ever since then. Now, SaaS wasn't the only thing that I did, but the way that my SaaSes grew effectively, because I had multiple, but at the time I only had one, my very first one 8 years ago. At the time, I already knew how to do SEO, so I knew it was only a matter of time until the SaaS got customers, got attention, etc. The only real thing I needed was attention. It wasn't necessarily, any kind of special function that the software had. It was really the marketing, because that's what most people struggle with. And what I did was I didn't run to some other individual paid for, them to promote my software, or get somebody on my team to find somebody like a co-founder or a CMO or something like that for somebody to do the marketing for me. What I did was I just reused my skills. I already knew how to do SEO. I already knew how to get attention. And that's essentially what I was doing. And I was able to make that SaaS effectively completely passive income for about 3.5 years. I mentioned that to say because what I did was I developed a blog, and I wrote articles on that blog, and I actually created video tutorials on that blog showing people how the SaaS worked. The reason why I say that and why that's important is because that worked as my marketing strategy to get people in the door and get my attention. All of that system was an internal system, which kind of brings me to the next thing, is that when people don't have their own internal marketing, whether they're paying their own ads, or they have their own blog that's getting them attention, or their own videos, it could be on TikTok, it could be on YouTube, it could be a podcast, it could be whatever it is. If you don't have your own system that you have ownership over, now you're forced to going to influencers. Now you're forced to essentially begging people, right, to get attention. Now here's the problem with this. People tend to beg without giving anything back. So I'll give you a real life example. As I was building my own SaaS and multiple SaaSes, one SaaS that I had recently, and I still have it till to this day, that I started building about 2 years ago, I was building it through my blog and through videos, same exact system. And this company here, this software, Dad Can't Draw, emailed me, okay? And I want to actually shout them out because, just to show you guys the idea behind this. But these guys emailed me, and they asked me for me to promote their software. And through the email, and you got to remember, I get emails like this all the time, where not on this YouTube channel, but I'll create a YouTube channel, or I'll create a TikTok page, or I'll create something, blog, something for a specific SaaS. And I'll use that medium or that platform to promote that SaaS. And I'll promote it over and over and over again. What happens is when you get more and more attention, people start requesting things. And you start catching the attention of your competitors. This software was a competitor. The software that I'm talking about was an AI image generation tool. And the person who owns this software emailed me and asked me if I could promote their product. Now, of course, I didn't, right? Because I'm not going to promote them for free. But the point here is that he just basically said, hey, I created this software. It's really good. It's cheaper than the one you're currently promoting, so promote this one instead. That's basically what it came down to. And he came, the way that the messaging was given in the email, he was essentially begging me without giving me anything in return. This is what most SaaS developers do. When they have nothing to offer, right? They just sit here and say, hey, I want you to promote my product, and I'll give you affiliate commissions. That they do that as well. But that doesn't get somebody out of bed to promote your product. That doesn't give them any kind of motivation. So if you're a SaaS developer and you have no internal system for marketing and you're going out there begging people to promote your product, number one, look at your income. Look at your income report. Look at your profit and loss. Look at your Stripe dashboard. If the income is not coming in, then obviously you're doing something wrong and you're doing it over and over and over again. And in the case of what you're doing wrong, it's your marketing. Your marketing is probably trash. And part of marketing comes down to understanding human beings. I talk about this in my book all the time. But psychology plays a huge role in how you can actually get somebody to agree to work with you. When you ask somebody, hey, can you please promote my product, and you offer to give them an affiliate commission, you're not really giving them anything because they have to fight for whatever they're getting, right? They have to go out there and hunt and earn whatever they're getting. You're not really giving them anything when you give them a subscription to your tool or something like that. You're not really helping them. If you really want somebody to agree to promote your stuff, you have to pay them. Money talks. And I've seen this because I've had approaches from all kinds of different companies in the businesses that I have, the SaaS businesses that I have, the micro SaaS businesses that I promote on my own platforms, and I have other people, other owners who are SaaS businesses, where some of them will ask me to promote their stuff and they'll offer a payment, and some of them won't. The ones who don't, I don't even pay attention to, and the ones that do, I then scrutinize. I decide, hey, do I actually want to work with these people? Would these people benefit my audience? Would this software or this product benefit my audience? I start scrutinizing the system. I also look at how much they're actually paying and how much influence do I have, right? Because I could easily just replace the competitor with a SaaS that they're offering with my own, right? So my point here is that the number one reason why people don't succeed in SaaS, who are developers, because that's who these people are, which are you guys. The number one reason, you have no internal marketing system. You have no blog, you have no website, you have no marketing. You have a website, which is your SaaS, but that's all you have. You have no real thing that you have ownership over that gets you attention. The second reason is you're going to influencers and you're not really offering anything in return. And by the way, offering a higher affiliate commission is not an offer. Okay, some people take it, but most people who are worth it to promote your product will not take it. And let me explain what I mean. You have influencers who have 200, 400, 500 fans that they might take it in an effort to get the product for free. That's what they might do. But they're not going to be able to promote it nearly as hard or get nearly as much commissions as somebody else with a few thousand or 10,000 or 20,000 who you're paying up front, because that individual who you're paying up front, you can guarantee the terms. You can say, okay, I'm going to pay you, let's just say 500 or whatever the case may be. I want you to promote the software for this much. I want you to promote the software on this video, and I want you to say XYZ, or I want you to do XYZ, or I want you to make sure that customers know how to use blah, 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 blah. I want you to recommend it. I want you to do etc. So you can control those kind of things. But if you're kind of just offering an affiliate commission, which is honestly the bare minimum, but if you're just if you're just asking for a promotion, it's never going to work out. But if you want somebody who's going to help you get consistent passive income for your SaaS, that's what you need to do. And at the end of the day, when I say passive income, that's not an exaggeration. You're creating a SaaS that works effectively on its own. It's not like you have to sit there and micromanage it, right? Assuming that, you're a decent developer and things aren't broken. So you develop a decent SaaS, you now have to market that SaaS. And depending on who you're going to, which influencer you're going to, you can get a lot of attention. And that attention is going to bring in customers. But if you go to somebody who doesn't really have that much pull and really is not good at marketing, You can tell by their videos, they don't know how to convince people. They have no push, no desire to make more money for themselves through the affiliate commission. You're not really helping yourself. You're just wasting time. Most developers enjoy wasting time. They like to run on this treadmill simply because they're engineers. That's what engineers do. I heard someone else say this where they say, if it was up to the engineers, the cars would never get off the assembly line because they're always iterating, they're always adding something, they're always doing something, and they end up failing. Like 99% of developers. Because what they are is, at heart, they're artists. They sit there and they create, and they lament on how beautiful their creations are. But they have no concern for making the money. They're used to this idea of, I'm just a creator. You have to step outside of that. And once again, if you need help with that, just click the link in the description, read my book, order the paperback, because the paperback is like a workbook. You're going to work through your problems. You're going to list out different things. You're going to do different things inside the book that are going to help you move from point A to point B, which is making money through your SaaS. Every single person listening here should have no issues developing. And to be honest, even if you're not a developer and you're creating your first micro SaaS without learning how to code, you don't necessarily need to learn how to code. You have different resources out there that are AI tools that can build apps for you, and you don't have to sit there and create call dependencies and code different you don't have to do all that, right? So the solutions are out there, but you're missing a skill, and your skill is learning how to create the income. It's not the software, and you got to learn how to do that. All right, so hopefully this video helps out. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye.